And let me see if I can get the chief right now and see if we can get him in. Chief, how you doing? Hello, Chief. Why are you still working on that? We'll work on get into some news right now. As you know, that if you didn't know that there was a big drug bust in Muskegon County, 10 Muskegon man faced federal drug trafficking charges. Now, with those trafficking charges, I tell you, uh, according to sources, nobody knew in Muskegon, and I wanted to talk to Chief about that a little bit. Um, this story with the chief is somebody get your kids and sit your kids down because here's a guy that worked his way up from beginning. Let's try it again. Hey, Chief, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Good, sir. Thank you and congratulations on your job.
I appreciate it.
Good. I want people to sit down and or share this message with their teenagers, your kids, because this is a start right from the beginning. All moved its way up to the chief of Muskegon Heights. Chief, tell us a little bit about yourself.
As far as my journey with the Muskegon Heights Police Department, I started in 1999 as an officer out of the Delta Community College Police Academy. A couple years after being on the force, I worked in East Park Manor as a community officer there. A couple years after that, I was moved into the high school, Muskegon Heights High School, as a school resource officer. And then in 2010, I was promoted as a sergeant. And then 2019, I was promoted as deputy chief. And then October of 2019, I was the interim chief. And January 25th of 2020, I was promoted to chief.
You know that for anybody that's listening, that is the way to do it. I remember working as the fire department. You know, you have to start somewhere, and you started working the streets. And when you came in the Heights, working the streets, and that's one of the things that you talked about that you want to continue working the streets, having your police officers on the beat, knowing the neighbors. Correct?
Yes, yes. Being a street cop is the backbone of the police department, of any police department. You have to be out there and mingle with the community, become a part of the community, earn the trust of the community, and then they'll be able to come to you with important information and let you know what problems is occurring in the community, and that's how we're able to solve crimes.
Now, look, you're a 1999 Heights Tiger, correct?
1994, graduated in
1994.
1994. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry, I couldn't wear orange and black. I did red. I tried. I tried.
Oh,
Um,
that's okay. That orange and black is just for it's for special people.
Listen, some of the things that people have said about you is that you work with the community. Um, talk talk about working with the community and how important it is, and in solving the crimes. Let's go deeper in that.
Well, one of the things I always try to do is be firm and fair. You want to help people when you can, and sometimes people put you in a situation and where you can't help them, and
Hmm.
that's where the firmness come in. And I think people respect that. I think officers, they know we have a job to do. They just want you to be fair and try to treat everybody with respect and dignity.
Okay, treat everybody with respect. You still there, Chief? Are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yep,
you
still here.
left out on treat
Yes,
everybody with
sir.
respect. Now, how many
Yes,
officers do you? How
absolutely.
many officers do you have in Heights?
We're probably about at 23 now.
Okay, okay, and what are some of your goals as the new chief of Muskegon Heights?
Well, some of the goals that I have is continuing the momentum that we started with Chief Thomas. I do want to implement more of a community policing style of policing the community, where officers are getting out of their cars more, interacting with the citizens. You know, sometimes police officers, the only interaction we have with people is when we're taking somebody to jail. So that kind of leaves a bad feeling with citizens when the only contact they have is negative. So we want to definitely get out and have a positive um, um, action with community members and just be a part of the community. You know, there's some events that the community is having, you definitely will see Muskegon Heights Police Department represented there.
Mayor Watt said this. He says, making those connections are easy because of the relations he's developed through the years. It's a respect from the community that made you the best choice. Talk about having that respect of the community.
I mean, that's something that I had to earn. You know, you just don't walk in because people know you and you get that. You know, that comes with years of service, years of being reliable, and just, you know, again, people, you know, regardless of what the situation is, you still have to show people respect, and in return, you'll get the same.
Right. Now, you're 23 officers. Now, did I hear correctly that every murder that you guys had last year that you guys solved?
Yes, we're very proud of that fact. And again, that's contributed directly to the relationship we have with the community, because you know the information that we get from the community is vital in solving all crimes in Muskegon Heights.
That is incredible. A lot of people cannot say that they've solved all their murders. What do you say to the people that have this negative thoughts about Muskegon Heights? It's unsafe. Shouldn't drive that way. What do you say to those people?
I would say that, you know, Muskegon Heights, we have our challenges, but believe you me, I still live in Muskegon Heights, so there's a lot of good, productive citizens that live in Muskegon Heights. You know, a lot of times the people that's doing good things don't have police contact and don't make the news. So,
Hmm.
you know, you just have to understand there's a lot of good people that work hard, you know, trying to establish themselves and just go after the American dream, raising families and having a good job, owning homes. You know, we same people in Muskegon Heights want those same dreams to come true for them, and that's what they're striving for.
Good. Now, uh, Muskegon Heights are getting ready to join Muskegon as far as marijuana and marijuana zones. Do you see any uh, crime related to that, or you think it's going to be a smooth endeavor?
I believe it's going to be a smooth endeavor. You know, the city manager Troy Bell, and along with the city council, did an excellent job in putting together an ordinance that allows the businesses that has marijuana for purchase to have police presence on site at
Hmm.
certain hours. So
Okay.
they did a tremendous job with setting up that ordinance, and we look forward to getting those businesses up and running.
Okay. What do you say? Because you're new as chief, but you've been there for years. What is it going to take to continue those good that momentum that you have far as solving the crimes? You talked about people. Matter of fact, people are blowing you up, chief. Thank you for it says thank you for saying that, chief. So people are blowing you up here. So anyway, um, continuing where we're at, you want to develop a relationship with the people. You want your police officers out on the streets. Is there anything else that you want to see in your tenure?
Yes, I mean, right now I'm trying to reestablish our command structure. We're in the process of promoting a lieutenant and promoting another sergeant. My detective bureau, we had one detective retire, so we just replaced him with
Hmm.
another detective, and he's young. younger officer who's ready to get out there and work hard for us. So
Right.
we're going to continue to work with the guns program that we establish and do some things in the community to help put the word out on gun violence. And we're just going to be out here working hard, man. We look forward to the challenges. I'm excited to be able to continue to serve the community and just sending the message out there that, you know, the people are the police and the police are the people.
Right. What do you say to people that the police department don't look like the people that live in the community? What do you say to that little kid that's in Muskegon Heights or Muskegon that, like I, ended up being in the fire department? What do you say to those kids that could end up being a chief or being in the police department?
Well, you know, our police department is still probably one of the most diverse police departments in the county, possibly even in the state. So,
Wow, that's good.
you know, we still encouraging our local community members to look into law enforcement.
Hmm.
You know, since we started the officer reserve program, we've got two local guys into the academy. We have one local guy in the academy now. So that program is starting to take traction. So we're looking forward to having more community members be a part of the Muskegon Heights Police Department family.
Okay. I know that you're on the road and stuff like that. I really appreciate what you're doing. Is there anything else that you want to say to the people out there? Because I know you're like working.
I just want everyone in Muskegon Heights to know that I'm proud of the opportunity to be able to serve the community as the chief of police. I'm excited to continue in working, and I'm asking the people to just, you know, take more accountability for what happens in our community. So if you see something, say something. That's the motto that I'm going with. I want people to understand that if you have a crime going on in the community, call the police. You know, reach out to me directly if you have to, and we'll try to make sure our community is safe and the quality of life for everyone in Muskegon Heights is better.
All right, somebody just said, have a blessed day, Chief. I'm going to say this, Chief, that you have an open invitation on this radio program,
I appreciate it.
and that if you need anything, let us know. And that also, I would like to have you come back when you can to talk to people how to reach out on crimes with Silent Observer to make sure that their neighborhoods are safe.
Anytime. Next time I come on the show, though, you got to have some of that good barbecue you be making.
That's a deal, Chief. You got a deal. Thank you so much, Chief Maurice Sain. Thank you for your service, and thank your guys as well.
Thank you, and have a blessed day.
You too. Have a blessed day. Bye. That was Chief Maurice Sain, and wow, so excited to have him on. He couldn't stay as long as he wanted to because of course, he's working, but that's okay. We had a lot of stuff to talk about. I want you guys right now to go get your kids and sit them down because where I gotta go. Wait a minute. Let me read this. See something, say something. A program that the Muskegon Heights Police Department should bring to the school system. I will make sure that he gets that information. That's a good advice. Now, what I wanted to do is I want you to sit down and get your teenagers, because I'm about to break some stuff down. Politically, I want to talk to you about something that happened in Washington. And it happened with a representative, and her name is Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican from Georgia. Now, after 2:30, I'll get into what else has happened politically, but I want to take a good time to break down what happened. She is controversial. Came out of a very, very Republican area in Georgia, North Georgia, but she was stripped of her assignments. One being the education committee. Now, what I want to talk about, I don't want to talk about QAnon and all militias and all that kind of stuff, and I don't want to go there right now. What I want to talk to you about, that this can be a learning lesson for you. This could be a learning lesson from your kids. Now, I'm getting ready to bust some people out. So just, if you're doing this, don't blame the messenger. On your phones, if you don't know, you have smartphones. The kids know, and some adults know that you can change the personality on the phone. In other words, if you're doing dirt, you can hide that. It's like having to burn their phone. The reason why I bring that up is that a lot of people are doing dirt, and they're doing dirt on social media. And what happened with this representative is that she stated her opinions. She stated her opinions, which are controversial. And you got a right to put on Facebook. But people, social media is social media. And if you are going to run for office, if you're going to look for a job, if you're going to do anything that people can look at your Facebook and look at your Twitter account and look at anything that you do to determine if you get a job, like with the police department, to determine where you go. And here's a woman that said a lot of controversial stuff, including liking a bullet being put in the head of the speaker of the House. So listen, do not, please, people, listen to what I'm saying. That on your Facebook or your Twitter or whatever, if you have aspirations of anything, keep that dirt, keep your personal stuff off, because it will come back to haunt you. This freshman representative got to talking and was stripped of her committee assignments. So I just want you to know that. And parents, check with your kids, check with your man and what your woman is I don't want to go there, but check what they're doing on these social media, because people are putting out some outrageous stuff on there, and it will come back to haunt you. All right, let's get back into the news. I want to talk to you about, first of all, that drug raid. That drug raid in Muskegon County. 10 Muskegon men face federal drug trafficking charges. Now, according to one of my the people that I talked to, just let's put it that way, that they have a head position in Muskegon and didn't even know that the DEA and the federal people were coming in town. And so they didn't know until the very last second, and then they came in arrest. Recovered was $20,000 worth of handguns, $20,000 worth of jewelry, 113 grams of fentanyl, 93 grams of heroin, small quantities of cocaine and crack cocaine. Various people, like I said, 10 individuals were arrested, and there's more information on that. So that's local. On the state level, the governor has opened up where now the restaurants are open as of Monday at 25% capacity. Yesterday, she said that winter sports can't start. That's basketball, wrestling, and then competitive cheer. They can start. So all you Heights Tigers and Big Reds out there, guess what's coming up? And they can start as of Monday far as practicing. Number one thing that we need to talk about is the vaccine and COVID. COVID numbers are at 449,020 and rising. It looks like we're going to reach that 445,000 mark by the end of the night. there is some encouraging news. The encouraging news is that the caseload is at 26 million up, around there. But the vaccine level is now higher than the cases. And so there is some good news there with the vaccine. Also, Johnson and Johnson applied for their permit to come in an emergency and be the next vaccine for the United States. It's a one-shot vaccine. And so keep your ears on that. We will keep you posted on that. Also, keep your ears on this mutation that's coming out from South Africa, and the other one that is coming from England, and how these vaccines are working. Next, the next thing that I want to talk about is that with the vaccine today, as I was leaving, I was hanging in trying to get all the latest news that the army, that the military will be helping 1,000 people, will be helping give shots in the United States, and that has been okayed. They're going to start in Chicago. No, going to start in California. So 1,000 people. Joe Biden said that he wants to make sure that this happens, and so it has happened. Let's see. From Facebook, Greg, I was wondering if all the first responders got their shots in Muskegon. Any info on that? That's a good question. I will check on that. I will tell you this, from what I know, is that there are quite a few people left to get their shots, first responders. And on the top of that, there are a lot of doctors, nurses, and first responders that are quite hesitant on the vaccine. I was talking to some people last night, and the difference is that some people trust in the vaccine and some are waiting. So I'm telling you what I'm going to do. Hopefully, I'm going to be, as soon as they go stage 3, I'm going to be in line. I'm interested what you think. If you're watching, or if you would like to watch and have any questions, go to Facebook or WUVS 103.7 Facebook site, or M106, or you can ask a question on my page, Gregory Todd Roberts. Also, we have a group page called Torn in Two. You can like that, and you can be in discussions that we have during the week. So the military is going to come in and help with the vaccine. Johnson and Johnson has applied for their emergency, and man, it will be great. Now the numbers are not as Pfizer is at, like, and Moderna are like 95% effective. The numbers with Johnson and Johnson are not as effective, but what they said are, Dr. Fauci said, is that what happened in the test studies is that no one got the disease and no one died. So that's just a report from Fauci and crew. Let's talk about the job report. In January, there were 49,000 jobs in January, showing that we have a weak economy. Why? Because of the virus. Last night, and when I went to bed this morning, I was kind of shocked to see this news. But last night at 5:00 in the morning, the Senate voted. Now, you've been hearing about this $1,400 stimulus checks, and more money for unemployment, and more money for testing, and more money for schools, And by the way, if you're a school teacher and a union official, please call Lady J, who does a great job in booking, because we want to talk to you about getting our kids back in school. The number here, or if you have anyone that you would like to, any subject you would like to talk about, the number is 231 727 no 231 727 5007. Once again, 231 727 5007. And just ask for Lady J. Going back to that Marjorie thing, I didn't mention that the vote was 230 to 199. Republicans stayed pretty much down the line. There were 11 Republicans that voted to get rid of her, to limit her work, including Fred Upton from Michigan. So that's happening. Also, what's happening next week? Keep your eyes on this, because it's impeachment week next week. And we're going to see what's going to happen. Let you know, former President Trump was asked to speak in Congress at the hearing. He denied that request. Now, the question is will they subpoena the president? Will they subpoena President Trump to come up and speak? Now, I'm going to tell you, because of the vote that Rand Paul from Kentucky Senate did 45 minutes after the senators were sworn in. 45 minutes, they had a motion and voted on it, and they were right down the party lines. For the president to be impeached, he needs, I believe, 17 votes from the Republican Party. And right now, it doesn't look like they will get that. But stay tuned, because they have to go through and it's a trial, and it starts next week. I will pretty much tell you that I doubt seriously that the Senate will impeach. So, but he's impeached through the House, but he will not be convicted. We'll see. You guys will. We'll talk next week. All right. So we've had a chance to talk to, and I want to talk to you people about a little bit about what the chief said. If you are an individual that would like to be in police work, please consider it. Be a firefighter, please consider it. The only way that we're going to get these people out of our neighborhoods that are bad cops, and people that respect our neighborhoods, are people that grow up in our neighborhoods. And so that is one thing that I need you guys to consider as well. So much news, so little time. So last night's vote in the Senate, it was an interesting vote. So I woke up to this news, and what happened was that the Senate got around, because the Republicans were going to do a filibuster. And what happened was they figured a way to go around. There goes bipartisan work, so-called bipartisan work. Anyway, but what happened is that the Democrats voted 50. The Republicans voted at a count of 50, and the Vice President, Kamala Harris, came in and broke the tie. Now it goes to the House. Now, as of me leaving the House at 12:30, they are in a meeting with the House of Representatives, and they are voting. They will be voting on this very issue today. Now, one thing I want to say that the Republicans did last week is that they did bring a proposal to the president, which was about half that amount. The president listened, and he said, as I was leaving in his speech today, that he wants to work with the Republicans, but because the economy is doing the way that it is, that we have to go big, and that is his statement. If you look at the unemployment, unemployment is down to 6.9%. What they're saying is that a lot of people have dropped off the rolls of they've lost their job, and those jobs will not be returning. Stay tuned for that. We will stay on those stories as well. I want to thank again Lady J for all the work that she does, and appreciate it. Okay, so we talked about the virus. Well, we did not talk about this. The 49,000 jobs added in January. Yeah, we did because of the virus. The numbers are down. Um, it's going to take a lot, and people hear me out. Here's another teachable moment right now, and here's a chance for you as an individual. If you have a goal in mind, say you lost your job and say you want to go into catering or whatever, here's a chance to reinvent yourself. I know MCC right now is offering free college. You might want to check on that. If you are a nurse or a first responder, there are free classes. If you want to reinvent yourself, now is the time to do so, especially if you lost that job. There are a lot of people during this pandemic that is making money. Let me say that again. I know a lot of people are home with their kids. I know a lot of people are laid off or working at home, but there are a lot of people that you can make money. And so if you need ideas and stuff like that, we can talk about that as well. I want to take a couple seconds to give my condolences to some of our members that have been on the show that have lost their spouse. I was very saddened last night that, and I want goes out to the people that you don't want to believe in the COVID. Whatever. I looked at a funeral home obituary page, and I knew every person. Oh, wait a minute, except maybe one. And I knew everyone. So people, be sensitive. And we talked a little bit about that last week. Okay, want to tell you a little thing, couple things that are coming up on the future show next week. We're going to have Mr. Gould from MSU, Michigan State Journalism. And what we're going to talk about is, in all this mess and all these lies, you can't watch a channel, you can't watch the news, no one is correct, everything is slanted. We're going to be talking about journalism and how to find the truth, because this is what this program is about, is reporting the proof to you, reporting the truth to you. But here's the thing, you're sitting up there and you're watching these channels and just you don't know what to think because everybody is dug in. So Mr. Gould's going to be in from MSU next week. We look forward. We will have him from the whole hour as well. I will probably have Pastor Melvin Burns back and Taki as well. So a lot of stuff going on. Again, I said the House will take up that version of what the Senate voted at 5 o'clock this morning, passed 50-50, Vice President passing it. Now, what's in that bill, which to my amazement is the bill is not even written yet. It's just an idea. And so they're actually voting on an idea. Now they have their numbers, they want so much to go to schools, so much to go to local governments, so much to go to states, so much to go to unemployment, so much to go from people being kicked out of their homes, $1,400 stimulus check. The president has said it go big or go home. The Republicans have said that that they've given they're okay with giving money, but we need to channel that. I'm interested on what you people think about that and how you're doing as well. So lots of news to report. Oh, the unemployment rate. Wow. The unemployment rate, as I said, is at 6.9%, but almost 800,000 people last week for this week. 800,000, almost 800,000 people applied for unemployment for the first time. That's a lot of money. I mean, that's a lot of people out there. Although we got the 6.9%, which is great unemployment, and the stock market is doing well, by the way, and breaking numbers, that doesn't represent the people out there that need food. And it doesn't represent the people that lost their job to a virus that they had no control over. I want to talk a little bit as well, and we want to get some teachers, and teachers, if you're out there, I want to get you on this channel, and we want to talk to you, and we want to talk to the union, and we want to talk to the superintendents. What is it going to take to get the kids back in school? And I think that's an important issue that we have to address as things are going on. The vote, I can't help but going back to this Georgia Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene thing in her committee assignments. I can't, because this shouldn't have never gone to the floor. What could have happened is that Kevin McCarthy, wow, Kevin is the GOP leader in the House, and they had a meeting. Wednesday. It was a 4-hour meeting, GOP, and they spent possibly most of that time trying to wonder if they should get rid of Cheney, who's a Republican and a very conservative Republican. They spent less time talking about our girl from Georgia. But he could have handled it there. I wish they would have handled their stuff in that meeting. And I wish that it would have never gone to the floor. We have a question. And the question, what are your thoughts on Fox News being sued over the $2 billion? Thank you. Thank you for that question. What we've done is I've tried to stay away from my thoughts and give facts, but it's a great question. I'll talk about it. Here's the thing. When you say something about someone, when you accuse a company of something, then you better make sure that what you said is correct. You better make sure that what you said is correct. Because if it's not correct, then in this country, you get what's called sued. And in this country, that's the way of the land. If Fox was reporting the facts and they stand on their facts and they have proof, then they can fight it in court and then they can win. It's just as simple as that. But if they don't have any proof, and if they made accusations, then there's a problem. There's a problem. And that's what any station, and that goes for CNN, MSNBC, if you are reporting false facts. And that's why we're going to have that journalism specialist next week to talk about the truth in reporting. You find, if you look at those three stations alone, they are very slanted. You have to know that. If you don't know that MSNBC is way left, CNN is middle to left, and Fox is to the right. If you don't know that, wake up. And you're watching slanted news. And what you get is that 5 minutes of news and 55 minutes of backing their opinions. So to go back to your question, my thoughts is that if Fox News is reporting the truth, then they have nothing to fear. If the machines were not working correctly, which we'll see. I mean, if you look at when President Trump was in office, there were like 62 cases and all over the country, and they only won 2. So we'll see. But that's a great question. $2 billion with Fox, and also some other people on Trump's former board, or people that backed them, former lawyers are being sued as well. And the thing is that with that is, again, I want to say this and make it very clear, because my thing is that I want you to hear what the truth is, okay? So I don't want you to think that I'm slanted one way, left or right. It is very important that if you talk about somebody and you accuse somebody of something, you better make sure that it's clear. And that's one of the problems that we're having right now. And that was one of the reasons why this station started this program, is to break the mirrors, get rid of the fog, and tell you what the truth is. So thank you for that question. Keep the questions going. You can watch this program on WVS 103.7 on Facebook, or M106 if you have any questions, if you would like to join in on everything that we said. Now, let's go back to the unemployment rate. Now, the 6% was unexpected. That's a good thing for the unemployment rate, but they say that a lot of people have dropped off the job search, no longer searching for a job. So that's the reason why the numbers are low, and a lot of people are staying home. So stay tuned. That also, I noticed on Facebook someone questioned me yesterday. Look at gas prices going up. Watch this. Watch gas prices and watch the Dow Jones. Just keep an eye on that, and just see what happens on that. And I will keep an eye on that as well. So once again, let's do a review. It is 2:45. It is February 5th. It's 16 degrees outside. High of 19, low of 14. So a lot of votes. We talked about impeachment next week, which will be really, really interesting. So far, matter of fact, let's talk. I'm going to take the next couple minutes and talk about the impeachment. And if you have any comments, please send them. The impeachment, the Democrats did it in the House really quick. It was just sent over very quick. Now it's going to the Senate, and it's going to be a full court, full witnesses, everything. And it's going to be intriguing. Now, if you have a kid at home and you're trying to educate them, please sit them down and talk to them about this stuff, because you want your kids to know about this stuff. And know about voting, and know about all this stuff, because it's a good chance for you to educate them and sit by the TV and spend some time with them. I want to talk about a couple people. Representative Fred Upton, and we're going to be trying to get him, the Republican, get him online, because right now he has been voting down the line with the Democrat Party. Fred Meyer, son, Representative Myers, as well, yesterday He split his vote because he voted for impeachment, but when it came down to getting rid of Marge from Georgia, he voted in favor of her keeping her position. Fred Upton voted against. I'm interested to see how Gary Peters, what they think, and we're going to try to get Debbie Stabenow on the show as well. 247 in the ski. You're listening and watching Torn Into. So, in review, right now, total deaths are at 449,020. By the end of this show, the numbers will be higher. By tonight, those numbers will be up as I am. We're still at those numbers, but watch those numbers. Keep an eye on the numbers. Also, I would love for you guys to send me your opinions. If the vaccine was offered to you today, would you take it? Because right now we're finding out that there are a lot of people, nurses and doctors and firefighters and people that are not taking the vaccine. Me personally, I will be first in line, and I ain't gonna lie. I will be first in line. Okay, I think we have a question here. I want to see. Let me see. Do you believe the stimulus package should come before the impeachment of Trump? Very good question. Very, very good. I think it's Friday right now, and I think what you're going to see is that the House is going to try to get that proposal of $1.9 trillion. They're going to try, I believe that they're going to try to get it through today. Now, should this happen before the impeachment? Because the Senate has already voted on it, it's a kind of a moot point, because now it's up to the House, and then it goes to the president. Do I think they should have waited? I think that right now that there's so much stuff that has to happen with getting in the new administration, and the Senate has a lot of work to do. What I do feel is that they should not split their time, as somebody had suggested, that they split their time in half. In other words, in the morning to do the impeachment, in the afternoon do other stuff. No, what I think is they need to do is concentrate on the impeachment. Make sure that they dot all the I's and cross all the T's, and make sure that this thing doesn't end up in court somewhere. So my answer is that the Senate has already took care of it. The House has already sent the impeachment letters over to the Senate. So the Senate's done. So the Senate will be they'll start next week. So thank you. That is a great question. You guys are coming up with great questions. Keep them up. We have 10 minutes, and we just want to review some things. We talked about the vaccines, that we might have a third with Johnson & Johnson. We talked about what happened at 5 o'clock with the vice president and the Senate. In that 15-hour meeting, as the Senate passed that $1.9 trillion. Now, excuse me, that $1.9 trillion is a little bit to look at. And the need is that some people are saying that a lot of people are staying home and making more money by staying home. And that's one of the issues that have been with the Republicans. And Republicans are saying that a lot of people are not going back to work. So we'll see about that. I'm going to take the next 9 minutes just to talk about. I'm going to go off the facts and go into an opinion, my opinion here on a couple of things. I want to talk about the vaccine first, and I want to talk about this community, um, and all communities at risk. If you're not comfortable taking something, think about it. But I really think you need to research this because uh, either way, if you're going to take the injection, that's your thoughts. If you're not going to take it, that's your opinion. But I think as a community, as a state, and as a country, if we're going to return to normal, or you hear a lot about this thing called herd immunity. If we're going to get to that, that means like 70% of the people are going to have injections. If we're going to get to some kind of normal, if we're going to get back to playing ball or going to games, as you can see, I got my Kansas City stuff on. If we're going to get back to some kind of normal, then it's going to cause for teachers being injected. It's going to cause for people at risk, such as myself, to be injected. It's going to take that, or it's going to take for some people dying. And I know, and I have people that own funeral homes and very close to people. They are busy. They are extremely busy. And maybe if you don't believe in what's going on when it comes down to COVID, maybe I need to get some of these people on to talk about what they're going through with their families. Like when I left here last Friday, phone call, boom, close friend, boom, lost his mother. And it's happening out there. And what I see on Facebook, and we talked about this earlier, is for your kids, for your adults, you think you can put everything on Facebook, but you can't. You can't put everything on Twitter. You cannot, because people are looking, even for jobs, people are looking for that information, and they're going to people's page and they're going, oh my, oh my. And a matter of fact, if you look at the insurrection that happened January 6th, the reason why the FBI are catching so many people is because so many people put videos on Facebook and Twitter and all that kind of stuff, and now they're arrested. So my thing is that, look, okay, think about the injection, think about what you're gonna do, and you know what? Let's get this country back to a normal. It's not going to be the normal that we had. It's going to be a different normal. It's going to be a different normal. The second thing I want to talk about is just a second. Second thing I want to talk about is, and I talked a little bit about this last week, that we're dug in. And if you look at the way that Congress is voting right now, it looks like we're going to be dug in. They're going to be dug in. And very little is going to happen. Or you're going to see the president taking his pen out and writing a lot of executive orders. So we are in unstable times. As Americans, we need to come together. I talked about that last week, and I'm going to repeat it again. We need to come together, and this dug-in stuff has to go. Have your opinions, have your beliefs, but be an American. And I think with 4 minutes to go, because I want to be on time. The last opinion that I and these all are opinions, okay? And I don't like to do it, but I just want to stress my heart. Congress, I told you they're going to be locked up. Right now, people, the reason why you cannot afford to grow tired, the reason why you can't afford to get faint, the reason why, because right now, in 20 some odd states right now that different legislators are proposing different ways to limit how ballots can be, how you vote, if you can vote, and they're doing it right now. And you cannot get tired. I know if the show comes on and you turn on because you don't want to hear this. No, you need to keep it on and listen to what we're saying. There are a lot of people that are trying to change how you vote. There are a lot of people that are trying to change if you are able to vote, say by mail, or if you vote by mail, they're trying to restrict that. You are going to have to get up and say no to this. And I am talking for real stuff. You're going to have to say no because this will be heading to Michigan as well. And your vote, everybody votes count. Everybody's vote should count. But people shouldn't put hindrance on your vote. With that said, look at Nevada, and nobody should send out blind votes. What that is when they just send out votes without a request from an individual, and that happened in Nevada. That should not happen in this country. That's taking it one step too far. So look, you can do something about all these things. Take a number, and what we're going to do is put all the numbers of the congressmen and congresswomen and congresspeople and all the representatives. We're going to give you those numbers and make sure, and their emails as well, and the city and the county and all this stuff, and the school board, and I don't care, even the dog catcher, whatever. You need to be involved in this. And as we're getting ready to sign out, I want to take the time to thank Paul, PA, thank Big Rob, but thank Lady J for all that she's doing. She works really hard to make this show a success. Like I said, hey, this month, the week of the 20th will be our 6th month on the air, and we've only missed 2 weeks. We've only missed 2 weeks. And that's because of you, and that's because of your interest. I want to thank you for this week, for you guys watching, listening, and taking part in Touring in Two. I'm your host, Gregory T. Roberts, and I will see you next week. Take care, and God bless.
On behalf of everyone in our community and in healthcare, thank you for doing your part.
We appreciate your doing your part to keep us all safe.
When in public, stay 6 feet away from others.
Wash your hands often for at least 20 seconds with soap and water.
Wear a mask. Together, we are slowing the spread of this virus.
And together, we are saving lives.